You probably wouldn't know it from what's going on with my hair right now because, being a mom, it's tough to find time to really style and take care of your hair. But I actually make it a point to only see really wonderful stylists. I spend a lot of time figuring out who's a master craftsman, who is constantly improving themselves with education and staying on trend and understanding, structural composition and color theory. And so what I found over the years is that those people don't come cheap. When I was younger, I wanted red highlights, and I had a friend who was in beauty school give me red highlights. They didn't look amazing, but they didn't look terrible. And at the time, in my 20s, I didn't know any better. So I was ready to touch them up, and I went to a mall hair salon that charged much lower rates because as a 22-year-old or however old I was, young, I didn't have a huge pocketbook. And so I was like, can you just touch them up? So I get in this woman's chair and I watch her proceed to put red dye all over my hair. And I say, I don't think that's how it's done. I'm pretty sure you have to strip the root first and then go back and put the color on top. And she's like, oh no, I don't think so, but I don't do red highlights that much. Anyway, $100 later and a few hours, I basically was a redhead with highlights that started down here. Not really the best look. I was pretty frustrated. I still tip the woman. I mean, it's how she makes her living. But, going for the budget route, I got a budget solution. She didn't have the education. She wasn't constantly staying on trend and informing herself about the field. Skip forward about 10 years later, and I decide I want to go for the trendy look of black and gray hair. This time I'm a professional, I'm making a little bit more money. I decide that I want to go to a true craftsman. Now, I had to go twice because my hair is so dark to get my hair light enough to take that really light gray coloring. It had to be processed multiple times. Unlike my $100 hair salon experience, these 2 days of color cost me about $900, but I got the exact color I was looking for, and she gave me a wonderful haircut that really enhanced my bone structure, complemented the color of my skin, and just made me feel really beautiful and confident. So even though I spent $900, I felt like I was on top of the world and I was doing great in business because I felt like I could present myself and look, really polished and a little bit unique in my style. So why I'm telling you this crazy story about how I spend way too much money on my hair is because I work with tons of freelancers who question their ability to charge what they're worth. And I've been there. When I first started freelancing, I charged $30. And that's after building an entire instructional design department, working in adaptive learning, learning how to build eLearning, buying a whole bunch of assets. Honestly, I should have been making more. I was, at the very least, a instructional designer and not a junior instructional designer. I would say I was a senior instructional designer, but I've also mastered quite a bit more since then. So I'd say now I really am a senior instructional designer, and it would be a really bad idea for me to continue pitching my services at $30 per hour. But again, I work with lots of freelancers and solopreneurs who are like, well, in the online course world, for example, my competition is giving this course away for free. Why would anybody buy my $500 course? And what I usually say is, for the same reason, I choose to go to the $900 stylist even though I can go to the $100 stylist. It's because I am looking for talent. I'm looking for somebody who really runs a real business operation. I'm looking for somebody who continues to refine their craft. I'm looking for somebody who is a true artist and talent and understands the science of hair. Now, somebody else might just want that free version, and that's great. There is room for both people, but I would not encourage you to race to the bottom. I would encourage you to think about what you're genuinely worth. Now, there's a whole bunch of ways to price projects, and I can't tell you what's right for you. there are tons of variables. It has to do with your experience. It has to do with what kind of value you're bringing to your client. It has to do with what business they're in. It has to do with the complexity of the solution. But if you are not making at least what you would have made hourly at a full-time job, if you broke it down to an hourly rate, then you're not making nearly enough, because you're adding at least 30% in expenses just by freelancing. So I want you to really think about that. And next time you're asked how much you should charge what you are worth.